Hey everybody, this is Bill with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Hope you're having a good day today. Sure is a pretty day today here in Northwest Arkansas. Fortunately, Mother Nature has cooperated with us and has given us plenty of sunshine, which helps our videos a whole lot, and we do appreciate that. We have so many dreary days during the winter that we really get tickled when we see the sun come out, and they're talking like we're gonna maybe have clouds later today, but for right now we're gonna enjoy it while we can. Anyway, it's time to give you another update on what's going on with the trailer. And got a few things to show you, a few things that we're real tickled with how they come out. And first I'm going to start with, let me swing this around here. First we're going to start with that right there. Yeah, I got tired of having to, while we're in and out of the trailer, and of course these will come in handy later, naturally. But I just got so tired of having to step on makeshift things to step in and out of the trailer. So I decided it's time to build some steps. And we built these in such a way where they will slip right inside the door for transport. We'll have to figure out a way to secure them down so they won't be bouncing around inside the trailer as we're going down the road. But anyway, that's how they come out. And I'm a fairly hefty dude, so I had to build them stout enough to take care of my girth, you might say. Although I am planning on losing weight. That's one of the reasons why we're going to take off on this adventure. Not only will it have to do with seeing things that we haven't seen and doing things that we haven't been able to do and things that we've been dreaming about for all these years, but also we're going to use this as a means to improve our health. And that's one of the main reasons why we're making all these plans and doing all the things that we're doing here. Now, we've got this set right here that we built for that. Let's step around over here. And here's the other set right here that we built, and they're matching. They're both exactly the same. Now, what I utilized to do this, I happen to have some, if you'll recall, we talked about in a video last time or the video before that, I can't remember for sure, but we talked about how, because I'm a musician, I came up with a way to do a folding stage. So I had two stages that were rigidly built stages. Both of them measured 4 foot by 4 foot. And I was either going to throw them away or give them to another musician or someone else, But we decided, hey, we might as well try to utilize them. So I took them apart, and one 4 foot, believe it or not, one 4 foot by 4 foot stage made this flight of steps, and the other one made the other flight over there. So, and we still got to put 2 or 3 more coats of paint on them. This is an oil-based exterior paint that we're putting on them here. And but right now we just put 1 coat on and then started using them to step in and out of the trailer. And it's sure makes life a whole lot better, believe me, it sure does. Hey, did you notice our little license plate here? Let me get up here close so you can see that. Yeah, we are retired, not expired. There you go. Of course, that's just to stick on there for special occasions is what that's for. But anyway, that's what we got going on there. Now also, I know some of you will come in and say, you need to put some kind of a tread safe material on top. And yes, we already have it picked out. And as soon as all 3 coats or 4 coats or whatever we end up putting on them, and we arrive at the amount of paint that we want and feel confident that they're protected well enough by enough paint, then we'll be putting the tread safe strips on the treads. Isn't that right, dear?
Yes.
Yes.
Glow in the dark ones.
Yeah, we're going to get some glow in the dark ones.
Yes.
What color?
They're black, but the glow in the dark, of course, is
a yellow,
greenish,
yellowish strip or something like that.
It glows in the dark. I don't know.
It glows in the dark.
Yes. So
all right.
When we go to walk in at nighttime, we won't be, stumbling around too badly.
Absolutely. Yeah. While we're on the subject of stumbling around, I've been meaning to mention this, and folks have already been asking us now and then if there's anything that we would change if we was to reorder the trailer again, and anything that we would spec out differently. And so far, there's only one thing really that we would spec out differently. I'm a tall dude, and
I'm 5'5".
And Deb is 5'5".
I fit.
I'm 6'3".
Doesn't fit.
And, when I'm in a hurry running in and out of the trailer working on stuff, what happens, dear?
flood up here on top of this.
Right now, I've got a pretty good
We have
scrape
a lot
on my
of
head.
colorful explanations.
What was that Spock said? Uttered a colorful metaphor. Well, I've uttered several colorful metaphors.
That would be
That's from an old Star Trek movie. For any of you that are Trekkie fans out there,
He needs a helmet going in and out of my house.
So, what I'm saying is, if you're a tall dude and you have a trailer spec built, and you go ahead and go for the extra height, which is what we did, we went with a 7-foot height on this one. Don't go with the standard doors. Go ahead and get a taller door. Spend the money. I mean, I've got the scrapes to verify that you need to consider doing this. All right, give us just a second here. I'm going to step inside and we're going to show you what we've been doing. And you can already see a little bit of it right here. But you can see the refrigerator is setting in its spot now. And that's what we're going to talk about and how we arrived at that. So we'll be right back in just a second. All right, here we are inside the trailer, looking back at the refrigerator. And there's the outside door where Deb was just standing just a little bit ago. Now, we got our rear soffit built back here. The rear drop down. And the wire that you see coming out right there, that will eventually go to the air conditioner, which will be mounted right here where this vent is back here at the back. And just so you know, yes, the breaker in the panel is shut off. There is no power coming to this power cord right here. But when we get the air conditioner hooked up, of course, and everything, we'll be able to throw the breaker and we should have power there. Now, the soffit was part of how we arrived at how we were going to secure the refrigerator, and there was several things I wanted to incorporate in this. I wanted to be able to remove the refrigerator without too much difficulty if I needed to get back in there for some reason. I also wanted the refrigerator to be able to breathe. So you can see I've got a gap here, and then of course there's a gap over here so it can breathe, and there's clearance, up here as well. Now, we took several photos, and you're going to be seeing photos as we go along here, but to help describe exactly how we put this together. But we'll start first with the soffit itself. And the techniques that I used to build this back here was very similar to the techniques that I used to build the one up front. Let me zoom in if you remember the video we did on that one up there. So we used the same type of techniques. Now keep in mind, well, let's back up a little bit. The first thing that I did was right behind here, and you should be able to see a video, but right behind here, or a photo, I screwed and glued a 1x3 to the ceiling, which is right behind this, and it extends on back there, and you can see where it goes on back there. And if you look over here, you can see the end of that 2x3 over there. Now keep in mind, and you should be seeing a photo here shortly, but keep in mind that there is another 1x3 above this, because every 2 foot we have a metal ceiling bow or a metal roof bow that goes across the trailer up here. And on every one of those, I glued and screwed a 1x3 on those going crosswise. So I already knew where those were. In fact, if you see that black mark back there, we marked where the center of every one of those was, so that if we had to be able to attach something to the ceiling, we would know where they were. And eventually, when we're all done and everything's all buttoned up, those will either be painted over or hidden with a false panel. But that is where every one of those 1x2s come across. And we did that so we could end up with a total of 1.75 inches thick of insulation in the ceiling. And of course, we also did the same thing on the walls as well. I mean, we have a total of 1.75 inches thick foam board insulation on all the walls and the ceiling. So we're wrapped pretty good. So I already knew that I had a place where I could put that other, where I could secure that other 1x3. And then of course we just kind of built it out from there. I rigged up some squares and figured out a way to where my back piece needed to be back here. And then I ran another 1x2 across here with a strong back, a 3/4 by 3/4 strong back on the top side on the back. And then we made 3/4 by 3/4 inch studs that anchored everything. And this came out really nice and strong. Now, we also have the option open, if we need to go ahead and cut in some decorative access holes in this if we want to utilize it later, should we decide we need it, if we want to utilize that area later for additional storage. But then again, just like I mentioned on the drop down at the front of the trailer, whatever it would have to be very, very light objects, because even though it is built strong, you know, it's just a 1/4 inch thick material here on the bottom. But it's built strong, but it's built light, okay? Now, the way I secured the trailer, or the refrigerator, and let's see, I had a pointer stick. Let me find my pointer stick here. You see, this is the top of the fridge. You see this board here. Well, this board here is glued to the back of the fridge, on the top of the fridge. And the way I glued that, and I've used this product before for this, and it holds like gangbusters, and it takes 3 men and a boy to jerk it loose, and I don't think you could, honestly. I used a Gorilla Glue construction adhesive. But what I did here, instead of just squirting an S pattern onto it and then sticking it to it, I actually spread it out with a notch trowel so that it would have better coverage. And then we stuck it on the back of the refrigerator and marked it exactly where we wanted it and weighted it down until that glue set up, and we let it set overnight just to make sure that it was firm. And I can literally, on this part right here that overhangs, I can literally pick the refrigerator up from that part right there, and it doesn't move. Now this top board that you see right here, and you can see I've got chinks right here where there's a matching chink that you can't see behind the soffit over here. But that board is secured to them chinks, and then those chinks, of course, are secured to the wall on either side. So when the refrigerator is slid into place here, then all I have to do is run some screws down through this top plate into the bottom plate, and that will hold it firmly in place. Now, right now, I don't have the screws in it. I did have it screwed down here a while back, but then I had to pull the fridge back out to make a few minor adjustments here and there. So right now, the refrigerator is sitting in place, but it is all sitting in place and lined up and ready to be screwed down. And what I use to do that, because there isn't a whole lot of clearance here, I have a little angle drill that I bought at Harbor Freight, and we'll show you a photo of that. I only paid between $30 or $40 for it. I don't use it all the time, but that angle drill really comes in handy for tight spots like this, and that's what I keep it around for, is just for that. Now, I will be building a false panel that will stick here with Velcro, and I'll have to put another upright over here on this side so I can put a piece of Velcro on it, and then this false panel will just stick up there on Velcro. But I'll have it where I can pop that false panel off if I need to gain excess back in here for any reason if I would need to. Now, in addition to that, there's also a spot, and of course you can't see it here, but you'll see it in a photo, but on the back of the refrigerator, down at the bottom, on the very back, there is there's an open spot at the back. The back is solid until you get down to within, say, 12 to 14 inches of the floor. And then there's an open spot, and of course that's where the compressor sits, so it's got to be able to breathe. So there's an open spot there. So what I did also, and you should be seeing it in a photo, or you will shortly, I made a bumper in the middle, and I mounted it firmly to the wall behind the refrigerator, mounted to the wall of the trailer. And there's a bumper there that acts as a bumper, so when I slide the fridge up, it lays right up against that. It lays right up against that. So that also helps with movement at the bottom. Now, so when we slide the fridge in, as long as we slide it in, then there's a bumper up here as well too, which I didn't go into, but there's a bumper up here as well. When we slide it in and we touch the bumper here, and we touch the bumper that is behind the fridge down here, and you've seen it in a photo, then we know we're at the proper depth on it. Also, the way I determined where it's going to fit sideways is, that's one reason why I had this overhang on that board that is glued to the top of the fridge. This overhang lines up with this wall, and as long as I've got it close to that, then I know that it's in place. Now, to hold it on the front as well, and I haven't got it screwed down right now, but this board that I had to cut a certain depth in order to make sure it cleared the bottom of the fridge, it lays right up against the front legs of the fridge. And I will be running about 3 or 4 screws across that right there. And that will help keep the refrigerator from moving as well. I've had it secured up here. And I even had another board that I had screwed into here. And when I had all that done, this refrigerator wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going to go anywhere. So we feel pretty confident that it's going to work. Because it's in there really good and stout. But if I ever need to get it out, I'll be able to slide it out without too much difficulty and then put it right back in. So that's the whole idea. Plus, you know, we've got room for the fridge to breathe all the way around. Now, no, we don't have the fridge on an inverter. We don't have the fridge on an inverter. And I know a lot of folks are wondering, and some have even asked us, you know, what about when we're traveling from one spot to the next? So, yeah, the fridge won't be running when we're traveling from one spot to the next. Is that right?
That is correct.
That is correct. But how long will we be on the road from one campground to the next?
We're hoping no more than 4 hours.
Right.
And hopefully closer to 3. We're trying
Right.
to do our trips within that time frame and mileage. And quite honestly, in the house, if the electricity goes off, you don't open the doors and the refrigerator stays cold for quite some time.
Yeah, it does.
So we're not worried about that.
And we've had power outages here.
Yeah, we are. We won't go into the company, but
Yeah.
anyway.
We have. It's a regular thing.
If we have a concern about it, if we notice, you know, we have a concern. We do have a Yeti cooler that we can put stuff in the Yeti and keep until we get to the campground. So we decided not to do the converter, so the refrigerator would run off of 12 volt as well for those reasons.
The inverter.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. You got to use the proper terminology,
Okay.
or someone will correct you. Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. We
I
have
don't mind being corrected.
we have a converter,
Yes.
but we don't have an inverter. We do have an inverter, but we have not installed it in the trailer,
We're not putting
and
it in the trailer.
we'll probably end up using it in the van, so
Yes.
we can work with computers going down the road and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a big
Or
one.
that
It's
will
just,
be Bill's office, and this will be mine.
really.
Really?
Okay, folks, well, this is the next day, and we got a few more things done. In fact, Deb is just now wrapping up applying polyurethane to these 2 doors. The one long door you see there is going to go in the closet right over there, and the short door you see is going to cover the nerve center for the 12-volt system, is what that's for. And then we also got the skin put on this shower wall here on this side. I still have yet to build a cover to cover that spot there, so it would be a removable cover so we can get into the plumbing whenever we need to. But anyway, those are a couple little more things, and we got a lot more stuff we'll be talking to you about in the next video. A few little odds and ends things here and there, a lot more stuff to see. But anyway, it's time to say goodbye. So and I know it's time to say goodbye because Deb's going to keep me working, aren't you?
Hey, 7 weeks goes by really fast.
Yeah, she just has to throw that in
And
there.
I have witnesses.
Anyway, y'all take care, and we'll see you again. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures saying,
Goodbye for now. Thanks for watching.
all right, we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.